Hi everyone, today I've got the reading habits tag and this was started by the Book Jazz, so I'm sure it will be a very jazzy tag. I'm just going to dive straight in. There are 12 questions in total, so let's get going. Question number 1 is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? And I would just say I read in my bedroom. It is the most comfortable place and the place where I can really concentrate and just get in some great reading time, because obviously now I'm a bit busy with exams. Reading time is hard to get in, but when I get it, I want to devour it and enjoy it. Question number 2, bookmark or random piece of paper? I would say I use a bookmark because for me, it looks nicer, it's more visually appealing, and it can't fall out as easily as well. If I put a random piece of paper in, it can sort of fall out. Whereas I love bookmarks, I love collecting them as well, so bookmarks are just awesome. Question number 3, can you stop reading or do you have to stop after a certain chapter or a certain amount of pages? I would have to stop after, usually if I'm doing reading, I like to read in like 50-page sessions. So normally I read at least 50 pages each time I pick up the book. And then as well, I'd like to get to the end of chapters as well. So if I'm going to read 50 pages and the next chapter starts maybe like page 53, I read to page 53. I don't stop at a chapter before page 50 because that hasn't got 50 pages. No idea why it is, I just have this 50-page obsession which is weird. Do you eat or drink while reading? And yes, I drink tea because booktubers love tea. The majority of booktubers anyway that I know and talk to, because tea is epic and it just accompanies reading in such a perfect way, and just talking about it now just seems like heaven. After this, I'm gonna literally read and have tea. Multitasking, music or TV while reading? No, never, ever, ever. It's really hard to concentrate. It's like there's so many different moods and worlds trying to drag you into one. And for me, that is just over the top. You know, I want to concentrate on one thing and then do the next thing. Yes, I like music and I like television. I also like reading and I like to concentrate on that when I'm doing it. Question 6 is one book at a time or several at once? And I'm just going to say one at a time. For me, in the long run, I can get through a few more books if I do that because I can concentrate and finish it quicker, rather than, you know, sort of dotting between different books. For me, a bit like the last question, it would confuse me. Too many worlds and stuff trying to drag me in, and I'm just not epic enough to cope with all that. Question number 7 is reading at home or everywhere? And I would say I generally just read at home. I think if I read everywhere, it is mental. Like, I once read in the bus and I cannot concentrate. Yes, if I'm reading a book and I have like book nerds and book friends around me and we're always talking about the book, I never actually seem to get much reading done because it's normally like Divergent talk or the Hunger Games talk, and that is very, very fun. So generally at school, if I'm reading, most people that I would talk to would want to know about the book as opposed to me just sitting there reading it. So generally I just read at home where I'm on my own, and like, again, it's easy to concentrate. Question number 8 is reading out loud or silently in your head? And I would definitely say I just read silently in my head because that is what I do. You know, literally, if I was reading out, that'd be kind of weird. Like, people would be like walking around like in the house and stuff and hear me talking to myself, reading a book out loud. I don't think they know what's going on. They would literally think I was crazy. Maybe I'm already crazy, but no. I'm not really audio like that. You know, I don't listen to audiobooks either. They just don't grab me in. I can't take in the information very well. Do you ever read ahead or skip pages? And no, I don't. I don't think there's any point doing this. You don't get the intended enjoyment out of the book if you're skipping it, you know. Sometimes books are a bit slow, but I still like to read them at the pace they've been written because, you know, that is what you're meant to do. If there's a book, you read every page. That is what I think. I always look ahead to how long a chapter is though. If there is a long chapter, I might put it down, but if there is a short chapter, and I do love short chapters, I will read it and then I'll probably get addicted and read more and more and more. I don't know what it is, I just like to know how long a chapter is before I read it, sort of what I am preparing myself for. 10 is breaking the spine or keeping it like new, and as you saw in the breaking the spines tag, I like to keep it looking like new. That is just what I like, you know. I have very specific preferences. I don't like broken spines, I think they look messy. And, you know, not very well respected as well. I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't mind it too much with used books, but if I'm buying a book, I like to, even if I'm not opening it much, I don't like to break the spine. Question number 11 is, do you write in your books? And no, I don't really. I don't know, I just don't see why I would want to write in a book. If I was going to write in a book, I would generally use post-it notes. However, saying that, I did actually writing a book recently because it was for English How to Read The Woman in Black, which I did a review on, and we have to write in the book and annotate it. At the time when I was annotating, I had no post-it notes or sticky notes or anything. I had to write in it with pencil. It was torture. I hated that. So our final question, just like a lot of tags, is who are you tagging? And I'm not going to tag anyone specific, although I normally do. I just think if you haven't done a tag, give it a go. It's so interesting to hear about your opinions on book condition and reading habits, you know, how you like your books, because obviously every booktuber is different and we all share different opinions, which just makes the community great and why tags are so interesting to watch. So yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, share and subscribe. If you're not going to do a video, maybe tell me the answers below that you would give or discuss any of the points that I've made, and I would just see you all again later.